I know before earlier we spoke about human error in this whole supply chain equation, right? Packaging errors and things like that. What are some steps that companies could take, whether it's upstream at the manufacturing site right before sending these products out, or on site at treatment centers? What are some kind of best practices to avoid these avoidable human errors when it comes to shipping?
If I can just think, and I know Colleen, you'll probably, as a physician, be able to speak to the other end of this, but again, from experience, we had a circumstance where a CDMO unplugged a freezer. Someone was cleaning the freezer with final manufacturer product in the freezer over the weekend, unplugged it, took everything out, cleaned it, put the product back in, never plugged the freezer back in. So there were 8 to 10 final, again, autologous, but final product that was completely thawed. One patient had already started lymphodepletion. We now had to call, 6 physicians across the country and say, unfortunately, we're going to have to remanufacture product for your patient. It could be about 2 months, and they're going to have to come back for apheresis to be have starting material recollected. And so, Tyler, to your question, it's again, you need a vendor that can be prepared for this, because what we found was that CDMO didn't have an alarm system in place. When a freezer, nowadays is unplugged, after 20 minutes, an alarm goes off. So, being prepared for these things can be tough. I mean, that's why it's really important for that vendor selection, and working with your sites so that they can also, be as prepared as possible. But Colleen, I'm sure you have some experiences here with this too.
Yeah, I mean, I think, that's terrible. I just feel for whoever that was. I can't even imagine having to make that phone call. But I mean, this is not too dissimilar to what we see. Forget cell and gene therapy, but just, people have heard me speak are tired of hearing me say this, but remember, bone marrow transplant was the first form of immunotherapy, right? That is the definition of immunotherapy. And I think we see this in that setting as well, because there are donors. I mean, people will join the registry for some reason and not necessarily, it's maybe someone they knew. And then when they're called, they can't do it. Or you come and you're like, oh, your donor, you have a donor set and they don't meet medical eligibility. So there's a lot of things that can happen in the sourcing to the side of actual infusion in cell and gene therapy. And I think a lot of these places that do transplant are sort of used to these kinds of things. But again, I think that's why all of us are trying to make allogeneic or the in vivo work that's happening, right? Can you do things in vivo? That eliminates all of these things. So my hope is that someday transplant physicians don't have a job. Or their job changes, I guess I should say. They become cellular therapy people, right? Immunocellular therapy people.
That's going to be a headline.
Yeah, they're going to be like, what, Colleen?
Colleen wants to put them out of business.